What's good with y'all? Y'all already know, man. Some stories in here hop get remembered, and some slowly get forgotten. Welcome to Remember the Era. Man, y'all remember when Chingy was one of the biggest artists in the game? Well, at least it seemed like he was for a minute, because I know some people gon' probably disagree with me about that. But it seemed like he just kind of disappeared overnight. But what if I told y'all that a rumor that wasn't even true probably changed the trajectory of that man's whole career? Let's talk about it. Back in the early 2000s, it looked like Chingy was up next. I mean, you couldn't turn on the radio without hearing one of his records. Every club was playing him. Every mixtape DJ had him in rotation. The ladies loved him. The streets respected him. And the industry seemed ready to make him one of hip hop's next biggest stars. But somewhere along that path, everything changed. And depending on who you ask, a single rumor may have played a major role in that. Now, before we get into all of that, let's go back to the beginning. Chingy, born Howard Bailey Jr., came out of St. Louis, Missouri, at the time when St. Louis was becoming a major force in hip-hop thanks to artists like Nelly and the entire St. Lunatic movement. The city had momentum. Record labels was looking for the next artist who could capitalize on that Midwest sound. And Chingy was in the perfect position to do that. In 2003, he released his hit single, Right Thurr. And the record was everywhere. You couldn't escape it. The song climbed the charts, became a cultural phenomenon, and instantly turned Chingy into a household name. What's crazy is a lot of artists spend years trying to create one hit record. Chingy came out the gate with a smash hit, then followed it up with more hit records. Holidae In, One Call Away, Baller Baby. The hits just kept coming. And his debut album sold millions of copies. The money was flowing. Shows was selling out. Award shows wanted him. Radio stations wanted him. It was like everything was moving in the right direction. At this point, most people assumed Chingy was on his way to becoming one of the defining artists of the decade. But this is where things get interesting. Success in the music industry, it don't always guarantee longevity. Sometimes the biggest threats, it ain't your competition. Sometimes it's politics. Sometimes it's bad business. And sometimes it could be rumors. Around the mid-2000s, Chingy momentum kind of started slowing down. And the hits, they weren't hitting the same no more. And the industry started shifting. New artists was coming in, and fans started noticing he wasn't visible as he once was. Nah, that ain't really unusual, cause hip hop, it changed fast. But then something happened that'll follow Chingy for years. A rumor surfaced online claiming that Chingy had been involved in a relationship with a transgender woman. And the story spread quickly. And remember now, this was before social media had fact checkers. This was before people cared about verifying any type of information. And once a rumor got started online, it could be spread everywhere before anybody knew what the truth really was. So the blogs picked it up, forums picked it up, people repeated it without checking anything. And before long, Chingy found himself having to defend his name. But according to Chingy, the story was not true. And years later, the person connected to the rumor reportedly admitted that key parts of the story had been exaggerated or fabricated. But by then, the damage had already been done. And that's one of the harshest realities of fame. Sometimes the correction never travels as far as the original story. Now, I want y'all to chew on that for a second. A rumor can take off around the world in a matter of hours. The truth might take years to catch up. Now, was the rumor the sole reason that Chingy's career slowed down? A lot of people will say probably not. And even Chingy has acknowledged that it was other factors involved in that. The music industry itself had changed. The ringtone era was fading out. The internet was transforming how music was getting consumed. And record labels, they was shifting priorities around. And new stars had started emerging around that same time. So it's rarely just one thing, you know what I mean? But what made this situation unique was how often people connected Chingy's decline directly to that controversy. And to this day, many fans still bring it up whenever his name come up in the conversation. And that tells you just how powerful public perception can be. Now, here's another thing. People forget Chingy didn't completely disappear. A lot of artists, they fall off the charts and people assume that they broke or struggling. And that ain't always true. Cause Chingy, he kept on performing, he continued touring, he kept on making music. And he built a life outside of chasing the mainstream radio success. And really, a lot of artists from that era, they discovered something important. And what that is you don't necessarily need the spotlight to make a living. You know what I mean? And it's some artists who can headline smaller shows and venues. They can perform at festivals. And they can maintain a loyal fan base for years. The public might think they gone, but meanwhile, they still cashing checks. And Chingy, he became one of them artists, you know what I'm saying? Another thing that often gets overlooked is just how much of an impact he really had during his run. People joke about nostalgia now, but them records was huge, you know what I'm saying? If you grew up in the early 2000s, hearing Right Thurr, whatever, it take you back, you know what I'm saying? Back to the house parties, back to school dances, riding around in the car with your friends, you know what I'm saying? And of course, you know what I'm saying, burning it to a CD or downloading it on an MP3 player, you know what I'm saying? Those songs, they became a part of a specific era, you know what I'm saying? And that's something can't nobody take away from it, whether you consider him underrated or not, Chingy left a mark on the hip hop history. Looking back today, many fans, they started reevaluating what happened with him, you know what I'm saying? People, they starting to question how much of an influence the blogs and the rumors had during that time. They asking whether artists, were they unfairly judged? They asking whether certain careers was damaged by stories that probably weren't even verified. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, them some fair questions, you know, because the entertainment industry, you know, it always had a complicated relationship with gossip, you know what I mean? You know, sometimes the rumors become bigger than accomplishments. Sometimes headlines, they become bigger than the talent. And sometimes public perception, it becomes reality whether it's true or not. But at the end of the day, Chingy's story serves as a reminder that success can be fragile. You know, 1 minute you on top of the world, the next minute you find narratives you didn't even create. You know what I'm saying? And while we'll never know what exactly or how different things could have been, you know, one thing is for sure, you know what I'm saying? For a period of time, that boy Chingy was on. He was on his shit, man. He was one of the top artists in the hip hop game, man. And regardless of what happened afterwards, nobody can rewrite that part of the story. You know what I'm saying? But you know what y'all think, man? Did the rumors really hurt Chingy's career? Or was his decline simply a result of the music industry changing landscape around him? You know what I'm saying? Y'all let me know in the comments, man, you know. And if this video brought back some memories, you know, make sure you subscribe, you know what I'm saying? Because around here, we always remembering the era, man. So, till next time, peace.